everybody, I'm Nicole. It's week 5 of our spring CSA share. Next week is week 1 of our summer boxes. We have a really great box of leaves and roots for you this week. Starting with tatsoi, everybody's gonna get a nice little bunch of tatsoi. This is sort of similar to bok choy, but it has skinnier, longer stems. The leaves are super sweet and tender. I like to eat tatsoi fresh. You can just chop it up in a salad, have nice crunchy stems and nice soft leaves all in one salad. You can also cook with it, throw it in a stir fry, but you're gonna wanna put it in a bag in your fridge or a container in your fridge. It shouldn't get too wilty and it might last a little bit longer than some of your other tender greens. We also have green leaf lettuce again for everybody. These are field harvested heads, so they might be a little bit dirtier than the ones you got last week. We had some rain early this week while we were harvesting, so things just tend to get a little bit muddy. Just like that bunch of tatsoi, you're gonna wanna put this in a container or a bag in your fridge to keep it nice and crisp and fresh. These were harvested in the rain. They might be a little bit more perishable since they did get wet out there. Then we have the first salad turnips of the season. These are a Japanese variety of fresh eating salad turnips, but you can also cook with them. They don't have thick skins on them like a storage turnip, so you don't have to peel them. You can just wash them up, slice them, and put them right in your salad. They're nice and sweet and crunchy. You can also eat the tops. The tops are sort of similar to arugula, maybe a bit more mild, but I would suggest cooking with them because they, similar to those radish tops, they can be a little spiky, and cooking them cooks the spikes right away. For best storage, you're gonna wanna separate the root from the green. The greens, just like they do when this is a growing vegetable in the ground, suck moisture out of the root, which is great when it's in the ground and there's moisture all around them, but it can really dry out the root really easily after it's been harvested. We have really beautiful bunches of green kale this week. This is field harvested. You're gonna wanna keep this in a bag or container in your fridge. I like to just keep that big bag that everything comes in your CSA box and stuff all of my greens in there in my crisper drawer in my fridge. Keeps everything nice and fresh. Great way to reuse those bags. We have more scallions this week. These are a little bit taller than the ones you got last week. They had another week of growth. Just like last week, these have some roots on them. You can put them in a glass of water in your fridge and they will stay nice and fresh. Great on the grill, on top of a salad, or garnishing any of your favorite savory dishes. We also have kohlrabi for everyone. This is the first kohlrabi of this summer. Kohlrabi does have skin on it, which I recommend you peel away. The skin can be a little bit tough and bitter, but the inside is nice and crunchy and sweet. I've been eating kohlrabi just on top of my salads. I also added it to a stir fry last night. Really a wonderful crunchy addition to most foods. You can also just have it as a fresh snack. We have more beets for everybody this week. Lovely red beets harvested from the tunnel. We have beautiful long greens on them again this week. Greens are edible. You can eat them just like you would chard, which we also had available customizing in your box this week, but you can also eat your beet greens. Just like those turnips, you're gonna wanna separate the tops from the roots when you store them. Otherwise, your beets are gonna shrivel up in your fridge. Beets are great on salads. You can pickle them and add them to a salad, or you could roast them and add them to a salad. You can also roast beets and add them to hummus, whether it's hummus you make yourself or hummus you buy at the store. And then you could dip your fresh kohlrabi in your beet hummus. And then we just squeaked by with enough asparagus for everybody. This will be our final harvest of asparagus for the season. Just like those scallions, you're gonna wanna put these in a cup of water in your fridge to keep them nice and fresh. They don't really need to be in a container. As long as those stems are in water, they will actually last for quite a while. Fresh enough to eat raw, or you can also cook with it. Enjoy the last asparagus of the season. That's everything for this week. Enjoy your veggies.